Librarians. Welcome to your timeless Path of True Love reading with Extended. I am your reader, Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short. Mercury conjunct Venus in Libra, third house, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Joining the Circle Productions since 1998, 24 years in service at the time of this timeless recording. I am the author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, available on Kindle. There's a link in the description box. You can preview the first bunch of pages for free. And I am a creator on Patreon, patreon.com/Drawing the Circle. Humans, heroes, angels, witches, immortals, gods, and goddesses are the names of my subscription tiers over there if you want to check it out. Streaming there every morning. All of my patrons on all levels have access to the extended readings as part of their subscription, past, present, and future. So if you want a little bit of a deeper experience, me every morning with a pretty much every morning cup of coffee talking about the day's astrology, the spiritual and magical applications on an unlisted YouTube link where you can actually chat with me in the morning. More magic, more miracles, more mysticism, more Mal, then come Patreon on Patreon. Because I'm the Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Hey, my leaves. Hope you are all well. Doing the extended, as I said, on this. You can get it on VIMEO.com. $9.99, I think it is, USD, United States dollars. So get ready, because here we go. If you are new to the channel, A Path of True Love read is about you. It's your spiritual path, your spiritual journey, your healing journey, your hero's journey, your spiritual awakening through the lenses of the many different relationships we have in our lives, right? Twin flame, soulmate, parents, friends, lovers, workers, even people on the TV that you don't know personally you have a relationship with, oddly enough. Because there's really just one of us here, but that's a different story. Connected, but a different story. So we're going to be doing a Celtic Cross, one of my favorite spreads ever. Very, very popular spread, been around for centuries, with some other cards thrown in to bring clarity. And I'll just say, in the extended, there's a lot. There's a whole lot of oracles, plus the 10 cards of the Celtic Cross that we're going to do in part 1. There will be 10 more cards added to that. So let's get up in this gig. Check your other signs. It's a general read. To get more information about the contract we are about to look at, or maybe a different contract, remember, as you heal one, you heal all of them little by little, because the common denominator is you. Yeah, that's the power that we have, right? Can't heal other people ultimately, but we can certainly heal ourselves. Jump timelines, to a higher vibe, whatever, and take better versions of them along with us. So both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath, if you will, my beloved air sign, cardinal air signs, Libras, and I will get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can from the divine, the pantheons, the guides, whatever you want to call them. A little GPS so that you can see where you are on the path of true love, past, present, and future, and all that jazz. Please take a nice deep breath. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but I don't care. It'll come out my mouth as needed. Still point. Here we go. Using the Caroline Mace archetype cards, I call to the collective pantheons of the divine, the angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of true love, and the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. Please, what is the dominant 8th chakra archetypes? The soul patterns, being healed, being alchemized from shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace. These two contestants, contestant number 1 and contestant number 2, crossing each other's path on the path of true love. The Libra collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and cross watchers will have to intuitively suss out which one they are. So who's contestant number 1 for the Libra collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and cross watchers watching this video, receiving this reading, and who crosses their path on the path of true love? So Libra, you could be either of these, but this is the archetypal skeleton upon which we are going to put quite a bit of meat. Oh my. You've got the God archetype, masculine family of archetypes. There are 9 different families. There's masculine, there's feminine, and you've got the survival family, saboteur. Now, everybody has the child, the victim, the saboteur, and the prostitute. They are the survival family archetypes, even nations, corporations, everything pretty much, because it's how we learn how to survive, right? The shadow to the light, the lead to gold, the pain to peace. That's what's written on the card. We'll look at that. But let's start with the God archetype. You'd think there's a divine family archetype, but this is not one of those. This is a masculine family archetype, just like the goddess archetype card in this deck is in the feminine family. The shadow is what's being healed here, either side. Remember, you get to suss out who you are. But if you really relate to this one, you might also really relate to the saboteur, because everybody has this one regardless. So let's look at the God archetype. The shadow attribute, despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. Now, put that in a corporate sense and you'll see it. It's like, oh, right, chairman of the board or the big boss or whatever. Despotism. Despotism is a little bit different than tyranny. Look up the difference between those words. I think you'll find them interesting. Air signs that you are. What you're shooting for, or what this person is shooting for in the light attribute, is benevolence and compassion. Recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others, which would of course preclude you from doing harm, right? Because if you're really aware, tuning yourself to the divine eternal force, the soul really is only one soul, but it's in so many different forms, right? In this world and elsewhere. Let's not go there just yet. So, of course, you're going to be more benevolent and compassionate, right? It's like your little toe is not separate from the rest of your body, though it is a specific body part. So each and every one of us have a function here in the game as a divine being with an immortal soul on a hero's journey in a human body, right? It's all of that at once. Interesting. By the way, this does not have to be a male. This could be in any physical-bodied gender as you choose. Leave that there. The saboteur, like I said, survival family archetype, Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Mace. This is her deck. It's MYSS. She's a PhD. And I love her work. Her work, Sacred Contracts, was a real game changer for me. This is about decisions, life-changing decisions of empowerment or disempowerment, right? So do you sabotage yourself, sabotage another, or to me, the gold, because saboteur is definitely speaking of the lead. All archetypes are neutral, as you can see with the word God, right? There's a spectrum there. But I call it the empower, right? How someone who empowers themselves empowers others. So the shadow attribute induces self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others, right? So you can feel the disempowerment, disempowering yourself in an infinite number of ways. It's not this is not what makes you sabotage yourself. This is what's teaching you. These patterns are teaching you how you sabotage yourself and, of course, others. Think Wile E. Coyote, right? The best saboteur archetype cartoon ever, right? His end, because the saboteur can use numbers and facts and figures and money and the past, right? Fear of the future to talk us out of, so that we learn, we can make healthy decisions through that. What you're shooting for here is highlighting your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life, right? So just as an example, let's say you get your dream job, right? Like everything, the money, a beautiful house, and a beautiful wife. And I say to myself, well, how did I get here? David Byrne. Talking heads. But you have to move across the globe, right? Say goodbye to everything you've known. Totally new culture, right? And it's like, right? The changes that you would have to go through in order to take that empowerment. So, very powerful dynamic on the table. All archetypes are about power, but we're looking at a very intense masculine power and a very intense survival power. So let's do our Celtic Cross using the Mythic Tarot. we're going to get the lower three chakras. This is the 8th chakra, the God and the saboteur, hovering over each, head of the two people involved here. And the lower three chakras, it'll show us from the outside looking in at each of them, or from the inside out, them looking out, again, depending on which one you are here, because the lower three chakras are about relationships in the physical world. Root chakra, groups, tribes, circles of friends, any combination of 3 or more people is a tribe, right? Just to think of it that way. Second chakra is one-on-one relationship, like an umbilical cord, the navel chakra, right? Certainly there's one here on the table, but, it's also money, sex, and power, and creativity, and a lot of that, too. And your solar plexus, the solar plexus chakra is your relationship to yourself in the world, right? Your self-estimation, your self-esteem, your honor code, what you will, what you won't, what you do, what you don't, and your survival intuition, right? Is this right for me? Right, that kind of stuff. So let's see what hits the table. Please take a nice deep breath. Oh, and in the extended, I use the Daughters of the Moon to look behind the scenes at the heart, third eye crown. One more time, breathe. Well, hopefully more than one more time. Still point. Here we go. And as I call upon my gods of air, the sign of Libra, powers of the East, beloved gods of love, in all its different shapes and forms, please, one card in clarity. 10 cards in clarity, basic Celtic Cross, for the Libra collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and cross watchers watching this video, receiving this reading one at a time straight up. Give us the GPS. Let us really see this from the highest place we can for the Libra collective and cross watchers on the path of true love. First, we've got for this God archetype. What's going on? Inside out, outside in, lower three chakras. This has come up every reading, I think, so far. The Two of Wands. A choice. I know people call it the indecision card. I understand that. But it is balancing a fire. It's like, well, do I or don't I? And that's what I love the Mythic Tarot. Jason and the Argonaut standing outside Chiron's rose quartz cave. He was in a rose quartz cave. That's important for a hero, right? Teacher of heroes. Deciding whether or not he wants to take the quest to retrieve the golden fleece, right? And he can either go in the cave and take it or just say, no, screw this. So we've got a God at a crossroads, but I don't know, it's so life-changing. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But the saboteur archetype is about usually life-changing decisions of empowerment, and just because they're little, like empowering somebody and saying, you're really, really good at that. You do that so much better than I do. Just keep going. You don't know how that's going to be life-changing. Sometimes it really can be. Carrying someone's books home, if you know what I mean. That thing. So my gods, we got the Empowerer crossing the God on the path. What's going on there? Woo-hoo! Our first major arcana card right out of the bat. Heracles, the strength card. Hercules. Heracles is the Greek name. The Greek version and the original. So we are looking at somebody, this is them from the outside looking in terms of empowerment, they have quite a bit of strength. Now, I would say, when it's the element of fire, lower three chakras, that's going to resonate real strong with me, solar plexus, right? Very fiery element here. But when it's a major arcana, lower three chakras, it's all three. So this could very easily be someone who's very courageous, which you think heart chakra, the courage, but someone who is strong, someone who is summoning their strength, facing their fear, taking the lion, as it were, by the neck, and being courageous, taking action. This feels like someone who is really more of an empowerer than a saboteur. But also, when do we need to do that, right? We need to face our fears. We need to do the actual work. All right, I like this. What's at the core, please, my gods? Hidden influences flying below the radar. Maybe they don't pick up on this unless they're really intuitively going on for this god and this saboteur. And we've got the Three of Wands, a nice stable foundation of fire here, where there is some loyalty going on here. There is some waiting. There is some let's see. Because the two, this does make sense for the god with the Two of Wands crossing them, right, outside looking in. We're looking at someone who's making the decision about, well, the choice, I should say, well, am I willing to wait for this? Am I willing to, light a candle in the window? And I think that's true of both sides, but the Saboteur I would think, with the Strength card, would be like, yeah, no, whatever it takes. We'll take the journey, we'll see. But we'll see. What's in there behind? What's behind them? The High Priestess? Okay, so another, when it's lower 3 chakras, I would say this one the Three of Wands would certainly be solar plexus dynamic, or at least dominant, if not all, if it's unequally distributed there. High Priestess, oh, by the way, look at my chairs and look at this card. That's why I do it that way. Black slipcover on that one, white on that one. All right, Persephone Underground, Our Lady of the Underground. Thank you, magicians. Persephone as her role in Queen of the Underworld, no longer Spring Maiden or Summer Lady, Queen of the Underworld. Just recently down there, still has some daisies in one hand and a pomegranate in another. So we are looking at a deep dive here for either one or both, with that High Priestess really going in, being silent, being intuitive. What is a priest or a priestess but a vessel through which the divine works, which is true of all of us. But the High Priestess, lower 3 chakras, that really might be coming from a place of silence and stillness and meditation and not a whole lot of communication, but a lot of deep intuition, and I don't like using this word, but psychic information. I'm clairvoyant. I don't like the word psychic. Dionne Warwick and Linda Georgian killed that word for me in the 90s. Right? So definitely that. There is something really sacred where this is all coming from, something holy, HLLY. All right, what's crowning this, hovering above it all? Okay, is the Death card. Now, when it crowns, think of it as something that's like hovering, that can be delayed but not prevented. Now, this is probably not someone's literal physical death. Hades, Lord of the Underworld. Oh, and by the way, husband of Persephone. There you go. If you want to take that as some kind of clue, tip, or hint on the path of true love. But there is an external transformation. Now, you can't go back on a transformation. That's the difference between a change and a transformation. Is that like water? You can evaporate it into air, you can freeze it into ice, but you can reverse that process either way. You can't unburn a cookie, right? So that's why we have this imagery of fire in the underworld with Hades. But hey, it's not hell, man. It's the underworld. It's the afterlife. Many different fields. The asphodel fields, the Elysian fields, the Isle of the Blessed, and Tartarus is as far down from the underworld as the underworld is as far down from this world. So, everybody goes there eventually. I have a lovely little castle right inside the gates of the palace. It's fabulous. And once you died at the palace, you really died at the palace. It's such a stupid joke. But I love Mel Brooks. So, trying to keep this light, trying to keep this fun. I think we have a really, really strong indication that whatever happened before here, particularly if it was invoked by someone using that High Priestess energy, we are looking at a transformation. So what is before them on the path, my beloved gods of Libra? Well, the Two of Swords. All right. So this Two of Wands here, and remember we've also got the Saboteur over here. There is a back and forth. There is some discussion. There is some analysis. Now, the thing about the twos is they always involve a choice, and that's why we've got 2 on the table already. The Two of Wands, again, at the core of that, a Three of Wands, is a choice about loyalty, what you're willing to wait for and what you're not. That's why it's very solar plexus, very personal, most likely on both sides. But with this transformation, it's going to change things, and there has to be a reassessment to look at it again, because what was once in conflict before is no longer, or what made sense before doesn't. So there needs to be a bit of a reevaluation of that. So from a Two of Fire, desire, to Two of Air, thought, at least for a Libra, I mean, unless you're the cross watcher, obviously, for a Libra, they can kind of do that. They can balance that out. And if this is the Saboteur, all you have to do is the most empowering thing you could do, moment by moment by moment by moment by moment. And if you're the god, you're shooting for compassion, right? For yourself, for others, and benevolence rather than malevolence. Yeah, I know, it's got my initials in it. Cope. I didn't name me, apparently. All right, interesting cross. Let's look at the staff. This is the more mystical, universal stuff anyway. My gods, what is the lesson? Clue, a tip, a hint. Lower 3 chakra dynamic. The lesson you would have them learn, often called negative influences, but they're really just lessons the divine would have us learn for our own growth and evolution on the path of true love. So what's going on there? All right, well, 3 of Cups. The lesson here certainly is about an emotional bond, and now we've got 2 2s and 2 3s on the table. Well, technically the High Priest is the second card of the major arcana, the Magician being first. But that aside, we are looking at the wedding of Eros and Psyche. Eros, son of Aphrodite. It's a really good true love myth, which she has to go through, but she ends up being a goddess at the end of it. So worth it. Worth what she had to do. Had to go into the underworld to get some beauty cream for her mother, and but she had to get it from Persephone to give to Aphrodite. So, you know, there's definitely a celebration here, that there's something here to be celebrated, either individually or together, as well as how to deal with. I don't take this as a third-party situation. Honestly, I don't think the 3 of Cups, I mean, that's certainly emotional. But in this deck, it really is that thing of, again, a stable foundation of water, right? Perhaps a friendship, right? 3s are often seen as friendship. Now, if we don't see this through the romantic sexual lens immediately, this could really take any form. The lesson could be saying, do this in a compassionate, friendly way. There is something to be celebrated here. And remember, the death card is necessary, right? Otherwise, you're eating raw dough, not bread. That's a good way to look at that, actually. I'd rather not, although cookie dough is a different gig altogether. Let's see, what's from the outside looking in, right? If we were to be walking along the road and came to this crossroad and these 2 would be here, this god and this saboteur, what would that look like? Ooh, Zeus, the Emperor, lower 3 chakras. This could be, well, a divine masculine energy, obviously, like the Empress would be the divine feminine. But the vibe I get on that is that there is something very powerful in this. Well, a god and a saboteur. Why wouldn't it be? Like, if the saboteur tries to sabotage the god, I don't think that will go well. And that might be what that 2 of Wands is. Do they, don't they? Do I want to do this or not, right? I know what I want, but do I want to do it this way or do I want to do it this way? It's their choice. But with that Emperor there, particularly with the card of Strength, this could be a real power couple. I'm going to say that. The Emperor is the amalgamation or the synthesizing of the 4 kings in the tarot, so it's the Spirit King. And the Emperor, like Zeus, can throw a lightning bolt, make a choice or a decision, and it changes everything. This could very much be a power couple. Now, again, power couple is friends. Power couple is 2 family members. We're not really getting anything screaming that, but we got a couple more cards to hit the table. Let's see if 2 of Cups shows up. That's usually a pretty good hint. It's romantic. Breathe. Yeah, my gods of air, sign of Libra, powers of the East. Their hopes and fears, the destiny hewn from fate, the gold extracted from lead on the hero's journey aspect of the path of true love. Where are they on the hero's journey in the aspect, where are they on the hero's journey aspect of the path of true love? To take the fate that's been handed them and achieve destiny in this path of true love reading for this Libra collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Sign, and Cross Watcher watching this video and receiving this reading about the path of true love. And we've got the star. They wanted me to wait for that one. Good. Lower 3 chakras, there is great hope. There is great potentiality, and I'm going to say, because we're dealing with a god archetype here, the star is a mystical thing, right? It's the highest vibrational card in the tarot for me, and I love doing this, because here you got the moon, so to speak, here you got the sun, and the star is way up there. So, you know, there are wishes and hopes. I mean, this is Pandora's box. Not to be confused with the drag queen, but hey, I like her too. All the evils of the world came out except for hope that was kept there. The star, the guidance, the grace. Before we had compasses and maps, we were guided by the stars. So there's that ancient memory of looking up in order to find direction. I really think the more spiritually, particularly, well, you know, because I'm looking at that high priestess behind here too. This might have been something that was invoked by somebody in that high priestess mode. Channeling, whatever, something like that. But it was on the inner, right? Very, very quiet on the outer. And perhaps a secret thing. So keep tuning to the star. Keep tuning to your guidance and grace that's coming to you individually, even though that is all lower 3 chakras. There's a wish fulfillment here too. But you got to take the journey, right? The hero doesn't finish the journey 2 seconds after they begin it. Otherwise, it's really just an errand. The hero's errand. All right, last card for this Celtic Cross for the Libra Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers watching this video, receiving this reading. Then we'll get 2 Whispers of Love Oracle and a Macon Healing Mantra deck. Take a little break and do the extended. My gods, please. The most probable outcome of the timeline of this lifetime for this god and this saboteur archetype on the path of true love. And we've got the 10 of Cups. We've got the 10 of Cups. Look. This is very much the marriage that was done here, because they got married. She hadn't seen what he looked like yet. I mean, that's a long story, but it's a really good myth. Here she is deified. And by the way, the word psyche is the Greek word for the soul and the root of psychology, right? Just one of many examples. Psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? Wow, I guess David Byrne is like orbiting my third eye today. I'm okay with that. I always thought he was adorable. I still do. Oh, well, that white hair. So, whoops, I reversed them. So look, 10 of Cups, this is the ecstasy card. This is my true love card. And again, if this is a family member, you're like, you know, like, I know exactly who this is. This is this person I'm really attracted to, and I get that. But this could very easily as well be a family issue. And I will say, with the Emperor is usually the husband and or the father, right? The boss. So keep it loose until we get a couple of more cards on the table, because I only have 3 more. The Whispers of Love Oracle, this is the one that turns the party. Usually the higher selves of all involved. Whispers of Love by Alana Fairchild. We're going to get 1 for the God archetype, 1 for the Saboteur archetype. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. There we go. As I call upon the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, what is the whisper of love for the God and the saboteur empowerer for this Libra Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, and cross watcher watching this video, receiving this reading? We've got the God archetype, Jason and the Argonauts at the 2 of Wands at a choice place. Listen with your heart. You are listening to what is being said to you, but you need to listen with a loving heart, because doing it with a closed heart, you know, you're frozen when your heart's not open. You just need a ray of light. Oh, Madonna. Ah, Madonna mia. So look, this is saying don't go purely with the head. I mean, it's benevolence and compassion. Open your heart. Like if someone's really, really, really downloading, right? And kind of speaking their truth. And I would think particularly if it is this saboteur, it might be summoning up the courage. Right? I don't see any pages on the table, but, you know, that would happen in the outside world as an external message. Certainly with this transformation, this death hanging over that, I think it's really saying that your choices moment by moment by moment is to listen. And to listen with an open heart rather than a closed one. That makes sense. For the saboteur, please. The higher self, 5th dimension above, 8th chakra and above. Saboteur with Heracles, strength on the outer. Appreciate this moment. Each and every situation has an opportunity to grow and find love. So again, does that scream romantic sexual? Well, I think for the saboteur, it's saying there's an opportunity for you to wax your power, right? To build it, to alchemize it from lead to gold, to make really wise, loving, empowered decisions with great courage, and appreciate that. So no matter what comes of this, you will have that wisdom, that gold that you alchemized from the lead. And I do think, listen with your heart, that might even be to themselves, right? Because, you know, it's a choice. If this is a trust, a loyalty issue between these two people, what they're willing to wait for, what they're not, well, both sides, particularly if with the Libra, to give both sides of the scale their due, right? To hear both sides, to give them a voice, but in a way that doesn't burn down the village. And by the way, that might have already been in play, or at least the initial internal healing, alignment, you know, intuitive part of that underway. All right. I mean, it's very generic advice. Listen with advice. Listen with your heart and appreciate this moment. It's very Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now. Highly recommend it. But let's get our last card down. And our last card down is the Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn. Very good for air signs mantras, but I think particularly for Libras, because they're creative air, cardinal air signs. The only cardinal air sign, right? So to create with a mantra, and it doesn't matter which one you are here, you do this. This is to help heal the contract little by little by little. And sometimes one little mantra is a game changer. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. I hear the birds. As I call to the ascended masters of true love, beloved ones, talking to you pretty much every day, working with you pretty much every night, personally, please, one card. In clarity, the perfect healing mantra for the Libra collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers. Watching this video, receiving this reading to help this God archetype and this saboteur archetype get it together, because it ends with the Ten of Cups in some way, shape, or form, right? Their cups runneth over. And again, that really does feel like it's the both of them. And it is the true love card. So give them the healing mantra that they can use their magnificent, creative, cardinal air element to move them forward on the hero's journey of the path of true love. Expanding inner power. I am my most powerful when my creativity is given a voice. Now, that is to say that in this choice making process here for the God with the Two of Wands and the saboteur with great courage, by the way, probably more of a life-changing decision, is to give all of those voices a voice through creativity. And creativity ain't just about art, right? Like some people do it cleaning their house. I don't. I do mine through prayer. Mystical arts. I'm a mystical artist, right? Creativity. So it's not just performing arts or fine arts, gardening, right? Even athleticism, right? Sports and stuff like that have a very strong creative drive. Well, the athlete is one of the creative family of archetypes. So I'm going to read it from the Bookie book. I am my most powerful when my creativity is given a voice, particularly going through a death transformation in the lower three chakras in some way, shape, or form. I wouldn't be afraid of that, though. I think you just have to find a modality of creativity. Expanding my inner power. I am my most powerful when my creativity is given a voice, which is why I'm on Patreon. I'm not going to pop it up again. Not till the end. Right? It's like, whew, it has set me free, and I really feel quite amazing in the process. When inner power expands, you are able to openly communicate your truths aspirations and ideas as a way of circulating the energy that pours in from the cosmos. So the inspiration comes in, and maybe that's what this is, right? The stillness, the quiet, the silence, the meditation to bring that in, that now this is presenting itself and choices and decisions are in order. So to just voice them, right? You don't necessarily act on them. When you openly communicate your truths, aspirations, with all this fire on here, what you want, what you aspire to, that makes sense. As energy gets circulated by the sharing of your ideas, and it's just the sharing of your ideas, not like opening a corporation to make them happen, which is what I did. The universe is given permission to pour more inspiration, passion, and joy into your energy field. So the more you send it out in the yang and the masculine, maybe the emperor, talk about a real creative power, the more that high priestess is given to bring in. It's the yang and the yin, the exhale and the inhale. As your inner power expands, creativity becomes the life force of source energy surging through you to inspire the embodiment of your highest self, which is what the path of true love is. And here's something I forgot to say. When they asked Michelangelo, the artist, not the Ninja Turtle, just to clarify, how he sculpted the David, and I got him right there by the Apollo statue if you can see him, how he did it. He said, I didn't. God created the David. I chipped away the excess marble. Well, the path of true love is how we chip away the excess marble in all of our relationships, right? So to give that voice, like even if it's rage, well, this mantra is ideal for resolving creative blocks, healing traumas, and releasing blocks of stagnation. And maybe that's the high priestess in its shadow can be pretty stagnant, meaning that it's all intuition, no action, right? Which is just as bad as all action, no intuition. Talk about a loose cannon on deck. All right. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to do a little bit of what we call here on the channel a blessimation. One of my patrons on Patreon came up with that. It's a blessing and a summation at the all at once. And then we'll chat a little bit at the end as I release the Libra Collective temporarily. Take a break and come back for the extended. Shall we? Let's do this for real, because I like this. I don't know if I'm in it, but I do like it. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the Libra Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers watching this video and receiving this reading, may they be blessed with all that they need on the path of true love, that this God can embrace their benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within themselves and others. And that's a choice. That is definitely a Two of Wands choice that they can make moment by moment by moment. But if they can listen with their heart, to have the heart open as well as the mind, that could probably be established a little bit easier, and perhaps more simpler, if not easier, and that this saboteur may highlight their fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to their lives, particularly if this is a romantic situation. But with that courage card, with that strength card, with that Heracles, there's probably some labors that need to be done on that point as they appreciate this moment, moment by moment by moment. Feels like how this one is going, because at the core there is this unconscious loyalty to one another, or they're both waiting for ships to come in, and it doesn't feel like any action has gone on, particularly with the high priestess lower three chakras, but there has been meditation, there has been contemplation, there has been a real strong intuitive knowing or guidance in some way, and yet hovering over this is the death card, is Hades, who is not a murderer. He is the ender of suffering. He is the god of transformation and spiritual initiation by fire. So maybe there is some shadow work going on here, but there is definitely some a transformation of this in the outside world. We'll see in the extended what's backing that up, heart, third eye, and crown chakras. And then again, of course, we have the analysis of the Two of Swords, back and forth, probably some conversation here to gather information, particularly listen with your heart here for the God. It feels like that could, and I think it's going to be a lovely moment, but it's going to be as the result of this can be delayed but not prevented change here. Expanding inner powers really connected to that, but we'll get there. Because the lesson here is about how to do this in the physical world in a loving, kind, friendly way. Maybe this, even if it is romantic, sexual, this is the emotional bonding part of it. And therefore to listen, not so much here, well, listen here, but listen here as well. That certainly makes sense. And to appreciate this process as it goes, because there is great power here. Now, maybe this is a father dynamic, right? Daddy issue relationship, some way, shape, or form. We do have a masculine family archetype on the table. But it's not the father, it's the God. But God the Father, it's not new on the planet, the concept. But Zeus there as well. This could be the husband, the king to somebody's queen. Again, not about bodily gender there, but because it's Zeus and it's the emperor, one decision can be made that just changes everything across the board. So the best way through is to keep tuning to the guidance and the grace, the hopes and the wishes, the golden timeline that needs to be tuned to and felt little by little by little on the hero's journey of the path of true love, and leads to the Ten of Cups. Either way, not just happy, not just joyful, ecstatic. Their cups running over separately or apart. This feels like it's going to go well. If the God listens with the heart, the saboteur appreciates the moment and said, there I am at a crossroads again. Here I am. Love or fear, shadow or light, illusion or truth, lead or cold. Only I can choose whether to empower or disempower that. And then wouldn't it make sense that they need to expand? May they be given all they need to expand their inner power, because they are at their most powerful when their creativity is given a voice in any way, shape, or form. And maybe that's through prayer. Maybe that's through writing. Maybe it's something nobody else needs to know about, so they keep that within their own energy field as they heal. And may they be blessed with all that they need to be the true love that they truly are, step by step, breath by breath, bit by bit, no rush, no hurry. To do it in a balanced, clear, cardinal, creative air kind of way, so they realize the truth of who they are, the true love that we all are at our core, and are able to anchor that vibration of true love in a time where it's desperately needed on planet Earth, because you can't have true love without truth and love for the well-being of all and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. So let it be. So it is. That's good. That's good. Again, could be romantic sexual, but I gotta tell you, in the extended, oh my god, Kuan Yin Oracle, Blue Angel Oracle, Divine Animals Oracle, oh my god, Healing Angels, Journey of Love, Whispers of Ganesha, Blessed. We got a lot of divination, plus 10 more tarot, Daughters of the Moon to hit the spread here. So did you like it? Hit the thumbs up, like it. Help the other Libras find the video. If you want more of me here on YouTube, and you haven't yet, subscribe. I'm going to be moving my house in the next couple of months, so hit the notification bell, because they're going out when they're ready. And certainly if you want more magic, more miracles, more mysticism, and access to all of the extended readings, past, present, and future, come Patreon on Patreon. Really, $5 a month USD gets you a lot. It's the lowest tier, but gets you, like all of my subscribers do, the extended reads ad infinitum. And yeah. And if you want to book me for a private reading, that's the other thing I forgot to say at the beginning, there is a link in the description box. Booking a reading with Mal explains everything for you, beginning, middle, and end, setup, preparation, even how to cool down, and that you check with me 48 hours afterwards to let me know how you're doing. Essentially explains it all for you, just like Clarissa. Thank you so much, my beloveds. I love you all so very, very much. Really, I'm going to take a little breaky poo, put out the other oracles, and dive into this one. I'm looking forward to it. So thank you so much for watching, and if this is where we part for the day, I'm wishing you all the very, very best and the very, very blessed on the path of true love. Hail, farewell, heart, and blessed, blessed be.